But if that goes into the Park Service, you can't do that. So they didn't want that parcel in the exchange. For that reason. It wasn't that they didn't want the park to have it, but they wanted to keep it open for that. And then they spoke of several other things. Some I learned, it didn't make any difference. But when we get to talking about individual parcels and we go out, we can talk about this, and I have pictures on it. I have pictures here. I have pictures up in the Crane Point area. They were opposed.
Crane Point area was a moose calving ground.
Yeah, and I've hunted up there, and I know it's loaded with moose. Anyway, there's been a lot of money that's been poured in on the public's behalf in that piece of property there. And Fish and Game opposes that because it's the last bit of public land right up in there. And they did not oppose this, although they said, hey, if you can find other parcels, leave them alone. And that's right where Al and Cheryl live up there. That's why they became involved and really fought. Up here, the opposition was because of the Nadmus fisheries and the work that the Forest Service had put in tremendous dollars. I have pictures again on the dollars that went into land management, timber sales, timber harvest, removing roads, planting good trees in the aftermath of that. This land down here was acquired about 10 years ago from Potlatch Corporation after they had cut it over explicitly because of the anadromous fisheries in the Potlatch River. And we have done tremendous amount, the Forest Service has done a tremendous amount of work along the Potlatch River and the anadromous fisheries on that piece of ground. This was opposed, again, by Elk City, opposed because this land is highly developed, lots of pictures, highly developed from a multiple use standpoint. And speaking of the exchanges, this land, this piece of ground over in here had a lot of national forest land, isolated, difficult to manage in the McGarry section, 4,300 acres that were exchanged for 1,993 acres right along here that was owned by Potlatch, unroaded, can't be developed. And now there's a moratorium, so to speak, on developing roads in this area. Hey, Forest Service, the public got gypped out of all that land. They have to pay now to use the roads that they built.
Well, the thing I find on this map here, you can't see any of those creeks going through there.
Oh no.
You can't see that there's the Palouse River's not identified through there, so the public wouldn't know.
No, it's all done for a very specific reason. I mean, they could have, the WPT could have used a forest map.
Yeah, but the forest maps identify everything and it's too easy to see.
Because it has property owners on it too.
Property owners and everything's identifiable.
Exactly right. So anyway, here you see something that Forest Service retirees say, if these go, that's 14,000 acres off of the Palouse District, which is one of the smallest districts in the region, GS-13 Ranger, and it produced in a 10-year period from 1995 to 1996 to 2005, it produced a half of the sale volume that came off of all of this. And it continues to do it because it's so productive. And it has fish and game and that out the year, if it's fertile ground for growing trees, it's fertile ground for wildlife.
Yep.
There's no denying.
And the public loses all of it.
And so here, this map is most significant to me in the way that it says, if you were back in the Washington office and you knew nothing about these parcels out here, how they were managed or anything else, and you saw checkerboard in the upper lop saw, and you said, my God, why are we wasting our time managing this ground when we can have a solid block of National Forest ownership up here? Let's trade that. I mean, if you knew nothing about the land and you
Right.
didn't seek to know anything. But when we saw this starting to happen, we said, you know, the whole district and all these scattered parcels on the St. Mary's Ranger District now, look at this checkerboard stuff in the upper St. Joe.
Mm-hmm.
That's next.
Yeah.
And all of these lands, big timber, and particularly Potlatch, has their eyes on acquiring these lands. And if the politicians have anything to say about it, they'll get it. Unless the public, like the Friends of the Palouse Ranger District, stand up and take a stance like you've been doing and say, no, you guys, we aren't going to re-elect you if you're going to do this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's
We're gonna
steel
try to
guy.
get it stopped.